Welcome to the No Budget Indie Filmcast, where we dip into the independent film universe to highlight those little films that you might not have heard about elsewhere. Will you agree with our panel, or will our panel agree with each other? Tune in to find out. I am Milo Dennison, and with me, as always, is Claire Milan
Oh.
and Carl Alfidi.
Hello.
All right, Claire, what did we watch this week?
So this week we sat down to watch a film from 2013 called Connection. It's directed by Vladimir Shcherban and it's written by Nicolai Kazan, Khalezin and Laura Wade. And it stars Jude Law and Nicolai Khalezin. It's about a celebrity meets a person at the airport. All is fine until the person finds out that if they return home, they will be arrested. This is quite interesting because he's a Belarusian actor, and the fact that Jude Law pops up in it, it's like oh that's amazing, and it's yeah there's an airport and Jude Law is playing himself and he's walking through and he gets talking to this man and he doesn't speak any English and he's trying to find his connecting flight, and Jude Law goes and helps him, and then he accidentally takes his passport and he walks away, and then he's like, "Oh, I have the man's passport," so Jude Law runs after this man, and then they start talking. So this man, he can't go back to his country, Belarus, because he'll be arrested, and Jude can't go back to his house because there's all these photographers outside because there's some sort of scandal, and they just find this connection between them, this link, and it's like I suppose ships passing in the night, and they like he I don't really spoil it. I suppose it's not really a spoiler, but he helps them to look for asylum. It is a very simple film. It's a lot of kind of long shots in it. It's unusual for Jude Law to appear in a film like this, so I'm wondering how he managed to. But I thought it was really sweet. It looks kind of low budget, I thought it was well filmed and well acted, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So what do you think of it?
Yeah, so I thought it was cute. Like it was like you said, it was a real simple film. Jude Law walking through the airport, some guy who doesn't know who he is asks him like, "Hey, can you help me out?" They don't speak the same language, so there's a bit of a language barrier, but Jude kind of understands what he's looking for and tries to help him out, but then takes him to the wrong place because he doesn't fully understand, and then he realizes that actually he needs to go somewhere else, so it takes him to the other place. And then, of course, he's also dealing with the typical celebrity thing where like people notice him and they point him out, and he's trying to have a phone conversation and they're like taking pictures of him, so he can't actually have any privacy on his phone conversation. And uh, yeah, it was nice. I questioned like it'd be interesting to see if like Jude Law actually would do something like this if some
Yeah,
person came up to him.
it's
But
yeah, it's a bit. It's. I actually think this is said at the end. It's kind of based on a true story as
yeah,
well.
was it based on Jude Law's true story or somebody
Yeah, I
else's?
don't know.
Didn't
Maybe it's
say.
This guy Nicolai, this actor,
Yeah.
because he plays himself in it. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's. I wonder would Jude Law do this? Yeah, I wonder. Probably not
maybe.
in real
I
life.
mean, he props to him. Like, even if not, like the fact that he even did this film says something about him, that he
Yeah,
seems like a pretty cool guy, right? Because
yeah,
certainly he's
absolutely.
a big enough star. He doesn't need to
Mm,
be acting in some short film with
mm,
pretty small budget, I'm
mm.
sure.
And especially
Although, in
back
order
then.
to pay for Stansted Airport to film there, they probably would have had to
Mm.
pay a decent amount of money for the location.
Oh, huge. And this is 2013, so I think he was massive back then. Even like
Yeah.
big, like probably, he would have been huge. But yeah, it was a Stansted Airport, is it? Would you think?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
is
yeah,
it?
I read the
Oh.
in the credits it
Oh
said filmed at
yes.
Stansted. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So that would have cost all the extras. That would have cost a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm.
Uh, but yeah, it was a nice little film. Like there's not like you said, there's not a lot to it.
Well, actually, I read it. I read up about that guy, Nicolai Khalezin, or whatever his name is, and he is an actual dissident. So he's not just an actor. He's a playwright,
Okay.
and he is he's more or less banned in Belarus. If he went back, he would be arrested. He would
Yeah.
be thrown
Yeah.
in jail. And I think there was a threat to his life uh, from Belarus. Yeah, I think it was something in it. Some guy said him and his wife would be hanged. So he's a proper dissident. And as you say, this film's 10 years old. So
Yeah.
uh, it's something he's had to endure all that time. And obviously, recently we had the election and all the protests and everything like that. And he man is still in power. So so I think if you're asking why did Jude Law do this film, probably he wanted to highlight. He felt he could use his profile to draw attention to this, and he could help this guy out. Um, yeah, and if you have a film with Jude Law in it, people will watch it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it definitely worked. So it draws attention to it.
It's,
Uh,
it's
and
obviously
I, I
based.
liked
Yeah.
I liked the way sort of halfway through, suddenly he was able to understand them. Like this whole language barrier was gone.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was a
That was kind
nice,
of like threw me because how do you understand him?
I thought that was pretty funny. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
so first they have the language barrier, and then like
yeah,
he totally understands everything the guy's saying. I
yeah.
agree, Carl. I like that too. I thought it was kind of fun.
yeah. It was a nice idea because language would be it could be a barrier between people, so in a way, a sort of uh, to block people from understanding and then maybe empathizing with them. So the idea was this: okay, this language barrier disappears, and he can he can connect with him, which is the whole point. He can see him on a human level then and see what his problems are. Um, I suppose the one problem now, if there is any, is the way they try to equate uh, Jude Law's persecution versus his persecution. And the risk of being photographed, or it's not a risk, but the constant sort of overweening uh, attention that he gets versus this guy's life is in danger. But I suppose like the writer, like this guy, I don't know if you said it there, but he's a co-writer of this short as
Yes,
well.
he's the writer as well.
So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's obviously looking for a way of connecting the two people, the two characters. He's looking for some sort of device to do that, and he did it. So yeah, I mean, it was as there wasn't much to it, but it was a nice story. And then there was the ambiguous ending,
Mm.
which uh, has been a feature recently for us, but it was good because there was no happy ending for him. There
Mm.
hasn't been any happy ending.
Yeah, I think maybe I don't know if that was a total one-to-one equation because I think they kind of used the Jude Law stuff as a bit of a comic relief as well to keep the story going. Um, I like that you mentioned the ambiguous ending because I generally don't like ambiguous endings. I've mentioned it on this show many times,
Mm.
but I think in this place it actually works.
Mm.
And sometimes the ambiguous ending is a cop out, in my opinion, because the writers can't think of how to properly end their film, or they're so like into their own genius that they like, oh, I'm going to leave the ending open because I'll leave the audience guessing what happened. But this, it actually works for like the story because we know that he gets taken, and what happens to him after that. We could look it up, or we could kind of guess, or it's kind of irrelevant to the story in some ways because the connection between the two is the key to the story, I think, and like you said, highlighting the issue with the character and it did Belarus and stuff. So that got highlighted out of this. We didn't necessarily need to see what happened next.
No, no. Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it does show as well, okay, if you just take it from Jude Law's point of view, uh, how incredibly annoying it must be to be, that famous and never
Yeah,
having any privacy.
yeah.
Uh,
Mm. And
well,
he
okay,
goes up to the guy at the counter and he's trying to help Nicolai. And then he's like, the guy gets him, instead of a form, his picture and he
Yeah.
signs it. So you do feel like, oh God, imagine being that famous and just feeling trapped in that kind of sense. So it
Yeah.
shows that. And then Nicolai feeling trapped in the other type of sense, and he can't go home because he'll be arrested. So that was kind of a nice connection. It's a very simple film. It's very simple, but it very effective as well. I like really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird downside of celebrity because like you want to be famous because you want to be an actor and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff, but
yeah.
then you also want a certain level of anonymity and
Yeah.
to then have to put up with. So yeah, so it's kind of funny. But
Cute.
yeah, it was cute.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know if, well, I mean, it's not related to this film or not, but and I'll talk about it later. Cut that bit out.
All right.
Yeah. Um,
After we do our ratings, I guess then.
exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to jump into it? Do you want to go call or you want me to go?
Yeah. So I mean, as a film, if you just treat it as a film, uh, other than highlighting uh something which is a serious topic, uh, it's it's an okay film, really. Nothing shoot the lights out. So I'll give it 3.5 stars.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, you know, there's not a whole lot there, but there really doesn't need to be. It's well made, it's fun. Uh Gosh, I'm a toss up between a 3 and a 4, and but I'm gonna have to do 3.5 as well. I don't necessarily want to do a half rating, but
Yeah.
I think it's 3.5. I think it's good.
Mhm. Yeah, I thought it was a really sweet film. It wasn't much to it. It was very simple, and but I think it kind of I really enjoyed watching it. So I'm going to give it 3.5 as well.
Ooh, wow.
Mm,
Consistent 3.5. Kind
mm.
of makes you like Jude Law a bit more, doesn't it? Like watching the film, you're
Yeah,
like, you know what? He's
it
cool. I
does.
like Jude Law.
The
Yeah.
fact he did this, like, he probably supported. Obviously, he must have supported the Nicolai. So yeah, it's great to see an A-list actor, being in a short film like this.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
folks. Oh,
a
go ahead,
fellow
Cole.
actor, a fellow actor, writer. uh,
Yeah.
So there's a,
Mm.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, to help him out.
connection
Uh,
there.
yeah. Sorry, what is it called again, Claire? I forgot. Like
Connection.
Connection. That's right. Good name. Connection. As you can see behind Colin there. All right. Yeah, check it out. It's called Connection. Jude Law. We liked it. We didn't love it, but we liked it. And it's certainly worth watching. You can let us know what you think. You can leave a comment in the show notes, or you can reach us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at No Budget Show. And with that, we'll say see you next time and goodbye.
Bye.
Right.